Hi, I'm Sandy Ewing, and welcome to Thursday's Child. In a previous video, Rick and I had talked about when we learned that our son Richard had a disease called tuberous sclerosis. And in talking about that, we had quickly referenced a poem called, not a poem, we had quickly referenced a piece of writing called Welcome to Holland. We wanted to dive into that a little bit. Partly because we got in touch with the author and we really would like to give her due and shine a light on not only the work that she did that inspired us in a very dark time, but also to just highlight what she has done throughout a lifetime of advocacy and writing and why it's important. So Emily Perl Kingsley not only wrote Welcome to Holland, but she has written about 20 other children's books. She has written hundreds of Sesame Street songs. She has done an enormous amount for the community of children with disabilities and done an awful lot for inclusion of people with disabilities in society, in activities, and in our world. We were really inspired by her poem at a very dark time. It would be hard to describe the depth of Emily Perl Kingsley's contributions and achievements. But just briefly, she's been nominated for an Emmy Award 40 times, and she's won 23 of those times. She won an award in 1981 from the National Theater of the Deaf. She won Woman of the Year for volunteer activities from New York Daily News in 1983. She won a media award from Ohio Public Image's Department of Developmental Disabilities. And honestly, I could go on and on. The point is that she took a situation that she did not expect, the birth of her son, Jason, who was born with Down syndrome in 1974, and she turned that into a whole world of information, reaching out to the community and trying to build a place for people like her son, people like our son, and all sorts of people in the disabilities community. We reached out to her when we were referencing her work, Welcome to Holland, and asked her permission because it suddenly occurred to us, oops, we did not ask. She was gracious and kind enough to reach back out to us and allow us to reference her work. Again, it's called Welcome to Holland by Emily Perl Kingsley, copyright 1987. And we are not reprinting it, but we are sharing it on our channel with her permission. I am often asked to describe the experience of raising a child with a disability, to try to help people who have not shared that unique experience to understand it, to imagine how it would feel. It's like this. When you're going to have a baby, it's like planning a fabulous vacation trip to Italy. You buy a bunch of guidebooks and make your wonderful plans, the Colosseum, the Michelangelo, David, the gondolas in Venice. You may learn some handy phrases in Italian. It's all very exciting. After months of eager anticipation, the day finally arrives. You pack your bags and off you go. Several hours later, the plane lands. The flight attendant comes in and says, "Welcome to Holland." Holland, you say? What do you mean, Holland? I signed up for Italy. I'm supposed to be in Italy. All my life I've dreamed of going to Italy. But there's been a change in the flight plan. They've landed in Holland, and there you must stay. The important thing is that they haven't taken you to a horrible, disgusting, filthy place full of pestilence, famine, and disease. It's just a different place. So you must go out and buy new guidebooks, and you must learn a whole new language, and you will meet a whole new group of people you would never have met. It's just a different place. It's slower paced than Italy, less flashy than Italy. But after you've been there for a while and you catch your breath, you look around and you begin to notice that Holland has windmills and Holland has tulips. Holland even has Rembrandts. But everyone you know is busy coming and going from Italy, and they're all bragging about what a wonderful time they had there. And for the rest of your life, you will say, yes, that's where I was supposed to go. That's what I had planned. And the pain of that will never, ever, ever, ever go away. Because the loss of that dream is a very, very significant loss. But if you spend your life mourning the fact I can do this. Sorry. Sorry about that, everybody. This always gets straight to the center of my heart. And my apologies to Emily Perl Kingsley. I meant to read your piece straight through, but here's the final bit. But if you spend your life mourning the fact that you didn't get to Italy, you may never be free to enjoy the very special, the very lovely things about Holland. So I guess it's obvious that I was getting emotional. And that's the thing. That's why this piece is so incredible, because it captures the push and pull between the pain and maybe even the regret and wistfulness of never getting to Italy, metaphorically speaking, and the joy that you accidentally find because you've been set on this different path. And it is a very different path. It's filled with things that you never ever thought you'd have to deal with. It's filled with challenges. But along the way, as Miss Kingsley very brilliantly puts, you meet all sorts of people you never would have met. You learn things that you never would have learned about the world, about yourself, about your child. And you begin to see the beauty in the child that is in front of you, not the child that you were supposed to have. And so it is true. Rick and I had some losses. We were so looking forward to starting our family. And Richard's diagnosis was a punch to the gut. We're not gonna pretend that it wasn't. And getting your diagnosis is a punch to the gut. And it does take you a moment, maybe several moments, weeks, months, to regroup. And honestly, over 21 years, Rick and I have had to regroup and recalibrate several times. You know, grief does not go away. It's an ever-evolving landscape. And it's always there, as you saw from me getting emotional reading this piece. It's always there. But what's also always there are the amazing things that you can find in this new life in Holland. So thank you, Emily Perl Kingsley, not only for letting us read your work and letting us share it, but for writing it in the first place and capturing so perfectly what was in our hearts and minds at the moment we learned that our lives were going to be very different than we thought. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We really want to hear from you. We want you along on this journey, and we are trying to get things up as fast as we can. So thanks for your patience, and thanks for coming along.